It's finally over. Microsoft wins their court case against the FTC to buy Activision Blizzard. We're Troy and Greg from Marks on Games, and today we're breaking down the go-ahead for Microsoft to purchase Activision Blizzard. Now, on with the story. The link to the article we're covering in the video is linked in the description. What's up, Greg?
What up?
Well, this is a story we've been following for a while, kind of off-air. I don't remember if we really talked about it too much on the YouTube channel. I could be wrong.
Nah, because there's not much to talk about. I think we said.
Yeah, it's just, what was the whole crux of this thing to begin with? They
never really made it clear. I think Sony just didn't want them having it because I guess they just didn't want them to have it. Or they thought they were going to get Call of Duty, or they were going to get a crappy version of Call of Duty, something like that.
Right, and you said Nintendo didn't give a damn. They signed off on it.
They signed the deal to get Call of Duty right away. Well, they're number one, so like, what do they got to lose?
Right.
Well, they're number one now, right?
I don't think anybody's getting a Switch and it's like, man, I can't wait to play Call of Duty on Switch. I mean, I'm not saying people don't.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people are just very loyal to the Switch and want everything on there.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I'm kind of leaning to it because I still haven't gotten Hogwarts Legacy, and I think that it's out for the Switch at this point.
It's not. It's been delayed.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
A 10-year-old kid told me that.
Nice. Yeah, I was actually leaning towards maybe buying it for the Switch because I can play it anytime, anywhere, and whatever. But like I said from the beginning about this, it mainly came down to Sony going, but we don't want you to have it. And then the government's like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have it. And it's like, okay, but what's your legal standing? We don't want you to have it. Okay, and like that's not a legal standing. So I don't understand why this thing took so damn long to go through to begin with.
Well, because a lot of countries are saying it's going to become a monopoly or something like that.
A monopoly on what? War games?
Games.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I missed that.
Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass and I don't know what I'm saying, but like I haven't been following it because I just didn't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to sit here and act like I know it all, but I know some of it. That's not something I woke up every morning. Hey, what's going on with this case today?
I'm not going to say I've been following it. Like, I really haven't, because I just figured it was it was like Thanos.
I am inevitable.
You know, it was going to happen.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not going to say that just because I swear to you, I was like, it's going to go through. We know it is.
Yeah, because like I said, there's no legal standing. I don't understand how it would create a monopoly other than on a game, which, by the way, you and I just pointed out, they had an agreement that they weren't going to bogart that game. So there was no legal, nothing. I don't get it.
I don't think people understand what a monopoly is, by the way.
Right.
In order for it to be a monopoly, Xbox would also have to own, like, Take-Two / Rockstar, EA, 2K, Capcom. You see where I'm going with this. You'd have to own everything.
You and I kind of talked about the stuff with Microsoft and Apple off air, but that was something back in the early 90s and late 90s and early 2000s where the US government went after Microsoft because they said you're creating monopolies, because they would go into all these internet explorers at the time, or internet browsers, and they're like, if you want to be on like PC, you can't be on Mac. And they would do that with a ton of programs. They're like, you have to sign exclusive contracts with us. You cannot also be on Apple computers. And it created a monopoly. And the U.S. government went after Bill Gates and Microsoft about it, and they broke it up. Microsoft lost. But like something like that, I understand.
It's always Bill Gates involved, isn't it?
Yeah, right. But something like this, you're just buying up a company. It's not even like the cell phone carriers. Like, if you want to
point out, by the way, if you're buying a company, it's most likely because the company wants to sell. So it's not like they're just forcing them to give it up.
Well, and I also understand even if they want to sell, if it's going to create a monopoly, it still has to be kind of held back a little bit because of legal reasons like that. But at the same time, like if you want a more recent example, like the cell phone carrier companies, where they keep merging and forming bigger cell phone carriers, and they were looking into all of that. It's like, as long as there's at least one competitor, it's not a monopoly. I don't know if duopolies are illegal, but it's getting kind of to that point. But it's not that way here. That doesn't even play. But I haven't read through this total article yet, but I did want to get into this article from GameSpot.com, where they report Judge Corley has handed down a decision in the much-discussed case, Microsoft's bid to purchase Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, just chump change,
His back pocket, man.
has cleared another major hurdle, paving the way for the Xbox company to press ahead and complete the deal. In its court case against the FTC, which was seeking an injunction to at least temporarily hold up the deal, Microsoft has emerged victorious. The FTC will still hold an antitrust trial on the situation beginning on August 2nd, but U.S. District Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley's decision means that the FTC will not receive the temporary injunction to prevent the deal from moving ahead in the meantime. Corley's decision can be appealed, but we don't yet know if the FTC will do so. It has through July 14th to appeal, and I'm sure they effing will, because they just can't take the L, man.
We know this ain't over by a long shot.
Right. If this is the government going after them, it's like, oh, wait, we can waste more taxpayer money going after a video game company? Yeah, let's do it.
Should have went and borrowed Jerry McDivitt.
Right. The decision was handed down on July 11th, with Corley disagreeing with the FTC's argument. Sony and other opponents of the deal said that it was anti-competitive. As of yet, Sony has yet to respond or react to the FTC's decision. This is another thing. Like I said, it comes down to, we don't want you to have it.
It's going to be written out more than that freaking Hey and Chat thing in Florida.
Right. And I would understand if they wanted to be like, well, we're losing Call of Duty, but you're not. That's not a factor here. You're not losing Call of Duty. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But even if you were losing Call of Duty, I hate this phrase, but it kind of holds true in a situation like this, where it's like, build your own. Like, I realize Call of Duty has a huge head start on you, but why don't you go buy PUBG then, whoever the hell makes that? And
they had a war game on PlayStation years ago called SOCOM. Do you remember that? SOCOM Navy SEALs?
Yeah, I
bring
didn't
that
play
back
a
out.
lot, but yeah, something. Like, make a competitor, advertise the crap out of it. You're number 2 in the market right now with a pretty good head start on Xbox. Why don't you just do that? I don't understand. And it's not like Sony doesn't have their own video game developing studios.
They pump out a hit every 7 years.
Right. Well, quote, the FTC has not shown that it is likely to succeed in its assertion the combined firm will probably pull Call of Duty from Sony PlayStation, or that its ownership of Activision content will subsequently lessen competition in the video game library, subscription, and cloud gaming markets, Corley wrote. In the UK, the Competition and Markets Authority blocked the deal over concerns about the cloud gaming market. The European Union, meanwhile, ruled that the deal can go through. It remains to be seen how the FTC's decision might affect things globally. Prior to the FTC giving the okay, Microsoft already had approvals for the deal in 35 plus countries. It has a deadline of July 18th to close the deal and may now look to do so, although the UK's block will still need to be navigated in one way or another. Mother of God.
Well, 2 things I caught from that. Number 1, cloud gaming on PlayStation sucked. They had PlayStation Now, and there was so much lag input and skipping, and it was just terrible all around, their cloud gaming. And 2, if you own a company and your competitor is number 1, but you own the software, why would you pull that software off that console? Isn't that just you're losing money?
Right. Yeah, because like Microsoft,
we understand PlayStation's kicking their ass. We're not going to have Call of Duty anymore, so we'll forego all that money.
I understand the logic of Microsoft thinking, well, we're in 3rd place. Maybe if we exclusively own games like Call of Duty, more people will buy an Xbox. But
no.
But like you pointed out with Nintendo, some people are just loyal. They want everything on that system, and you're not going to sway them. So why not take their money too?
I mean, well, I would. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and there are some people, like especially in today's market, where I don't know the sales numbers compared to past gaming systems. I know the Switch is doing just fine for itself, but all in all,
I'd say considering you just had a record month.
Right. But all in all, I'm gonna say people aren't buying every system like back in the day. I could run right out back in the day and buy multiple systems within a year or two and not think twice about it. Now I'm being a lot more picky, and I'm like, ooh, do I want this one or this one? The only reason I got a Switch is because you were selling your old one and you gave me a good deal on it. Other than that, I wouldn't have had a Switch for heaven knows how long. wrapping up here just a little bit, Microsoft President Brad Smith said in a statement that it...
Real name. Sounds like an alias.
Right. It, quote, hopes other jurisdictions will continue working towards a timely resolution, iterating that the company is, quote, committed to working creatively and collaboratively to address regulatory concerns, end quote. Meanwhile, Xbox boss Phil Spencer issued a series of tweets on the subject saying, quote, the evidence showed the Activision Blizzard deal is good for the industry, and the FTC's claims about console switching, multi-game subscription services, and cloud don't reflect the realities of the gaming market. Since we first announced this deal, our commitment to bring more games to more people on more devices has only grown. We've signed multiple agreements to make Activision Blizzard's games, Xbox first-party games, and Game Pass all available to more players than they are today. We know the players around the world have been watching this case closely, and I'm proud of our efforts to expand player access and choice throughout this industry, end quote. All in all, good news for them. I was talking to you off air about what you think this means for games like Diablo and World of Warcraft. I realize World of Warcraft isn't on console. It's only on PC or computers, rather, like through the website, I think. I don't know if you can download it through Steam or if it's only online.
I've never played Warcraft in my life, so.
I used to play it back in the day, like for a little bit, because you would get like free trials for so long. You know how people used to create like a bazillion Xbox memberships for free so that they could get like 3 months free and then they would get a new one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I used to do that, and I knew people who would do that as well with World of Warcraft, and then I kind of got bored with it. As far as I know, that's only, like, you literally have to go to the website to play it. You don't download it or anything like that, but I don't know. There are expansion packs and crap, so I don't know. I don't follow it closely.
I'm not a PC gamer, so I'm like out of this conversation completely.
Right. But I don't know what this means for that, considering, like you and I talked about, obviously Microsoft has computers, so I don't know if they're going to make it so you can't use it on Mac, if that's even possible, but I guess we'll have to see. But then the big one was Diablo, because that one is on consoles. So what's going to happen with that? They haven't signed any agreements about that, as far as I know.
Well, which goes to show you the whole point of this was Call of Duty, no matter what anyone wants to say.
Right. And the thing is, Diablo is very popular, as is World of Warcraft, but Call of Duty, I mean, that's just synonymous with war games. It's gotten mentioned in shows, movies. It's part of the cultural zeitgeist at this point. So yeah, this whole thing is literally about that one game. It's just crazy to think. Anything else to say about this before we wrap it up?
No, but I just don't. I think we'll have more videos to come with all the appeals.
Yeah, right. Keep your eye out for
over by a long shot.
Keep your eye out for other videos that we do to follow this up. But I don't know. They're closing in on the deal. I think everything at this point is just people crying and just throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm going to say none of this is going to work out, and the deal is going to go through, and everybody's going to have to shut the F up and stop crying. But we'll see.
You know what's going to be funny at the way end? When Microsoft just ends up winning.
Right.
It's like, man, you guys just look like fools for nothing. You're going to lose no matter what at the way end.
Yep.
You could have avoided all this headache. Imagine spending all that legal fee on something you're going to lose.
Time and money and effort, and yeah, you're just...
And sanity, that's a big one.
Yep. But for the rest of you, please comment down below with your thoughts on all of this. Did you think there was any chance of this not going through? Are you going to be following the appeals? And did you think that this is a good thing or a bad thing or indifferent? Let us know in the comments. Also, please share this video around to everyone you know. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell to be notified every single time we bring you brand new content. I've been Troy, he's been Greg, we're with Marks on Games, and we'll see you next time.